Hey, it's Cobra here at MaddenGuides.com, and for this Madden 21 offensive plays video breakdown, we want to take a look at a man coverage press beater. And what we're going to show you guys here is a passing concept that's very effective against both zone and man coverage. And you'll find this out of the run and shoot playbook. And for those of you guys who are familiar with the run and shoot offense, you'll be very, very familiar with the run and shoot switch dig concept that we're about to show. So let's go ahead and take a look at the play diagram that we're going to use here, or at least the play that we're going to use. And again, it's called run and shoot switch dig. Again, you'll find this out of the run and shoot playbook. And then, as I mentioned earlier, the concept that we're going to use here is called the switch dig concept. So you can see on your screen right there. And what this features is more or less a wheel route that's being ran by the inside receiver, and then on the outside receiver, in this case, is going to be running the dig route. So I want to go ahead and get into this. And I think this is going to be kind of a cool play, because what we're going to do later on in the video is we're going to show you how you can use, which normally when you think of the run and shoot offense, you think of it being from a spread offense, not from a bunch formation. However, the formation that we're going to come out in, which is going to be called the gun flanker close, you can actually go into, with some simple motion, you can go from that formation to a bunch formation very easily without having to even audible. All you got to do is use some motion. So let's go ahead and actually get on the play call screen here so I can show you what we're going to be doing here. So as you look at your screen right there, you can see clearly we're in the gun flanker close formation. And then as you look down here, you'll see the play that we're going to use here, which is the run and shoot switch dig, or the RNS Switch Dig. All right, so I want to go ahead and get into this and get going with this particular play and just show you how effective this play can be against man press coverage. Keep in mind, this is also a zone beater as well, and maybe another video breakdown, we'll talk about that as well. On the defensive side of the ball, what we're going to do is we're going to come out here in the $326, and we're going to run this with the cover 2-man LB blitz. Keep in mind, this is out of the Chiefs playbook, so there's the play that we're running if you're following along. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll go ahead and make sure we're getting some press coverage there so you guys can see it. Now, as you look at this particular play, you're going to notice that we actually are running two types of run and shoot type of concepts. We've got the switch concept over here on the left as you look at it, and this is a vertical concept from the run and shoot offense that features two receivers. One's running the post, and the other one's running the wheel route. However, that's not what we're going to focus in, at least initially, on this breakdown. What I want to focus in is on this other side of the field, and this is this right here as you look at it. Let's go ahead and just zoom in on it and just take a look at it. And as you can see on your screen, this has what I showed you in the play diagram art that I showed earlier. It has one receiver who's running this wheel route, which is this receiver right here, which is the inside receiver. And then on the outside of him, you have this receiver who's running the dig route. All right, now I want you guys to watch this. I'm going to show you how effective this can be against man press coverage, and you can see right there clearly that they're in man coverage, press coverage as far as what the defense is doing. Let's go ahead and run this. And now the cool thing about this particular play is you watch, and we'll go back and go in instant replay, you will notice that the receiver is not jammed at the line of scrimmage, which makes it very nice as far as beating man press coverage, an unbumpable route, which makes it very, very effective as far as attacking that type of coverage, which is very cool, especially with players nowadays wanting to run a lot of press coverage. This gives you a good chance to go ahead and not have to run press coverage as far as attacking that type of coverage. All right, let's go ahead and look at it in instant replay. And I want to go ahead and show you this as you're looking at it. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this receiver, as you look at your screen here, let's just go ahead and do this. The receiver on the outside, which is going to be the outside receiver there, what he runs again is that dig route. So let's go ahead and look at his route again, and you can see right here he's going to run the dig route. And what he does is he basically takes an inside release. So he comes into this very field here, and then he breaks up the field, and eventually he's going to come across into this area here on that dig route. Now, as I mentioned earlier, he's not going to be jammed at the line of scrimmage, and that's because you're getting a switch between him and this receiver who's running that wheel route. So that causes a natural rub that allows him to get open. And that's what I like about this particular play, because it's very, very effective, as I mentioned, against man press coverage. And let's just go ahead and run it again there. Let's go ahead and rewind it just a smidget right there. And as I said earlier, as you look at it, let's go ahead and zoom in again. You can see that he's not getting jammed at the line of scrimmage. He clearly gets off the line of scrimmage without being jammed, and that allows us to make that throw. Now, the key about this particular play is once he breaks to the inside, such as what you're seeing on your screen here, once he breaks to the inside, then we know that we're going to have that throw where we can make it, such as what you're seeing on the screen here. So we'll go ahead and make that throw, and then we're going to complete it right in this area here. Now, one of the things I would suggest when you make this throw is you definitely want to go ahead and throw it at the 9 o'clock position. So you want to throw it hard left. That way it leads them to the inside. The other thing is, as we zoom in on here, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in again. The other thing is to kind of watch where this defender's at. You can see right here he's to the outside of him, and plus he's kind of a little bit over the top of him. That tells me right there, I know I can make this throw to this receiver and complete it for a nice gain. So just make sure when you make that throw, make sure that you have inside position with that receiver so that you can make that throw and complete it at a pretty easy rate, to be honest with you. Very, very hard to defend this unless they manually try to defend it. And that's the one thing you got to watch for. All right, so that's it on that. Now, what I want to do is I want to go, what I talked about earlier in the video breakdown, I mentioned something about going into the bunch. So what we're going to do is I want to show you how effective this play can also be as far as attacking man coverage with press on, man press coverage, and show you how effective it can be as far as attacking that type of coverage. So let's go back into it again. And same defense on the same defensive side of the ball. We're in that cover 2 man from the dollar. And as you can see right there, we're in it right now. But what we're going to do this time is we're going to go ahead and take control of this receiver here, which is Diggs. We're going to take control of him. And what we want to do is we want to motion him over in this area here. And I want you guys to see, once I motion him, what he does as far as where he lines up at. And we're going to go ahead and zoom in again on this so you guys can see it. But you can clearly see now we're in the bunch formation. So we went from more or less a spread formation. Of course, the flankers lined up close in the flanker close formation, but you can see right now we clearly go into a bunch formation where we have 3 receivers. As you look at your screen here, we have 3 receivers now clustered on one side of the field in a bunch formation. So now we're in the bunch formation, which is nice. Now look at the route concept there going on. We still are going to get the switch, because I want to show you this again as we go into this. You can see we're still getting the switch between the 2 receivers that I'm particularly interested in, and that's going to be these 2 receivers right here as you look at your screen, the 2 inside receivers. Actually, sorry about that. The 2 receivers that I want to show here is going to be this one right here and then this one right here. So forget about the middle receiver, because we're actually going to hot route him on a different route. I meant to say that. So we're going to put him on a drag route. So we still get the switch, though, between these 2 receivers, the inside and the outside receiver. And so we're going to still get that where that receiver gets a natural rub, and he's going to get off the line of scrimmage without being jammed. So I want to go ahead and show that to you, and I want to go ahead and run this play. Now what's going to happen is, as you watch this particular play as I run it, this receiver is going to take an outside release. He's going to go up the field, and then he's going to break towards the sideline there, towards the corner of the of that side of the field. So you're going to see him break towards that side, and what you're going to find is he's going to get open as he breaks. Now, the other thing is we still have that inside receiver that runs that dig route as another option. So we've got 2 different options with this particular play that we can make a throw to. Let's go ahead and run it, and let's just make sure they look like they're in press coverage. We'll make sure they're in press so you guys can see that. Let's go ahead and run it, and you're going to find it. He's going to get an outside release, and then he's going to go over the top, and if we can make that throw, we can make that completion. Let's go ahead and run that same play again there, same thing, and I want to run it one more time. We're in press coverage again. Same thing with the motion. Now the key is obviously, so it's hoping that he makes the catch. Now sometimes you may have to switch off that receiver again and come back to him again to get him the motion, but trust me, he will motion if you do that. All right, let's go ahead and hot route that receiver on a drag route, such as what I'm doing there. And then I'm going to go ahead and run this, and I want to show you that he can be open where you can make that throw there. And there we end up dropped it again, but you can see he's going to be open where we can make that catch, and we even got that nice animation where he goes up for it. Let's go ahead and call timeout here again. And I just want to show you guys, because this play is pretty effective as far as attacking it, as long as the receiver obviously makes a catch. One more time with the play. And keep in mind I'm doing this real. I'm actually in the actual game, as you can see it. So we're going to go ahead and put him in motion. We're going to go ahead and put that guy on a drag route. And we're in the bunch formation. And then we're just going to go ahead and run the play. He gets off the line of scrimmage without being jammed. And then we make the catch there. And then we're just going to go in for a score there. So main thing I'm trying to show you on this is this: you can go from the flanker close formation to the bunch formation and have a nice opportunity to throw it deep down the field by him breaking to the outside now. Keep in mind, before he's supposed to be breaking towards the post, but once we motion him, put him onto the other side, then he goes and runs that route to the outside. Let's go back in here and take a look at this from instant replay so you guys can see it one more time here so I can show it to you guys again. And as I mentioned earlier, this receiver now, once we motion him over to the right side of the field, he's in the bunch formation. He's going to go ahead and run now what's more or less a post route. He's going to break up the field and break to the outside. But then we also still get the switch going on between the outside receiver where he runs that dig route. So we still get that going on there where we can make those, we got both those receivers open. Plus, by hot routing this guy on a drag route, this gives us an option underneath as well to throw to underneath. So we've got a lot of different options to throw to with this particular setup when we motion him to the outside. The other thing I want to point out here, and I'm not going to get back into it since I scored a touchdown, but one of the other things I do want to mention is the running back. He's running this delayed route out of the backfield. Now, one of the things you can do with him by him running this delay is you can have him, if you wanted to, you could hot route him so he ran maybe he ran an out route towards the outside. So you could have him running an out route as well. Something where he might get open where you could throw that ball to him as he breaks towards the outside. So just keep that in mind as you look at this play. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go back in here and just run it real quick here. And if you look, let's go ahead and rewind it just a little bit. You got a lot of going on right here as we zoom in on here. I'm going to rewind it right in here. You can see there's a lot going on right here between these three receivers. A lot of confusion for the defenders and man coverage because you got all kinds of guys doing all kinds of crazy stuff going on there. And so that's going to allow them to get off the line of scrimmage, at least two of them, where they don't get jammed. So you can see right there, they both clearly get off the line of scrimmage. And then as you look, the other thing about this particular play is we look downfield here. Let's go ahead and zoom in again. You can see that this receiver is getting some separation from that defender right there. We also got this over here as you look. We got the inside receiver. The receiver on the outside is going to break to the inside on the dig route. He's also got inside position on his man. So that right there, we got two different guys we can throw to right off the bat there. We're going to go ahead and throw it deep there and make that throw. I also want to go back to one last thing I want to show here as we look at this. And I haven't really talked about this outside receiver all that much. But this outside receiver, I'm going to go ahead and zoom in. He's not really getting it on this particular play. But on occasion, you may find that he gets inside position running that wheel route. And so he could be another option as well. That's not really the receiver I would look to throw to be honest with you. I mean, if I'm really thinking about what I'm doing on here as far as the pass reads go, obviously it's going to be this receiver out here on the outside who's breaking. Once he breaks to the outside, he'd be my first option. And then we got the dig route would be my second option. And then my third read would be this guy running the drag route underneath. That's if you go ahead and go into the bunch formation and with the motion that I showed earlier. So at any rate, this is a nice play that you guys can use to go ahead and attack man coverage, especially man press coverage, and have a nice chance of getting a big play such as what I showed on the screen here. So again, this play you'll find out of the gun flanker close. It's from the run and shoot playbook. And the name of the play is called RNS Switch Dig, or run and shoot switch dig is the actual name of the play. And as I mentioned earlier, the actual concept is called the switch dig concept. So guys, check this one out. If you guys like this video, please go ahead and subscribe. I always appreciate that. Make sure you turn your notifications on as well. Thanks again for watching the video.